Hey guys, it's James or JamesXDM on Twitch and YouTube, and this is going to be a guide on the GLAIVIER changes as well as my recommendations on how you should prepare as a Western Lost Ark player. Now please note that it is only week 1 of the KR PTR. However, based on the previous PTRs, we know that often the changes they will make after the initial week are usually just number tweaks rather than massive overhauls, so we can be fairly certain that the new build will be robust enough to start preparing early for. Now I have a more in-depth notes with all of the math and specifics in the description, but the TLDR is with the new Pinnacle changes, you are able to have buffs from both stances up at the same time. This includes 20% movement speed and 60% crit damage for your red stance, and 20% attack speed plus 25% flat damage for your blue stance. This change has huge implications on engravings, such as Keen Blunt now being less efficient, as well as Raid Captain actually becoming more efficient, since you benefit from the bonus movement speed in both stances. With the new build, you are no longer over critting in blue stance either like you used to, and you have more base crit rate in your red stance because of various factors from the build that I will be explaining. Now, the new build that I am recommending as of right now is Entropy GLAIVIER with spec and crit on the necklace. With the Entropy set coming, you will have a 22% crit rate as well as 10% from back attack and about 20 to 22% crit from your stats. Not to mention, with the changed Shackling Blue Dragon, you will have a 20% crit buff. Now this is only a self buff, but it's still 20% crit for 6 seconds. For your engravings, I am recommending Pinnacle 3, Grudge, Raid Captain, Ambush Master, Cursed Doll, and Adrenaline at +1 or +2 if you have a 9/7. The crit gained from not running Swiftest anymore is very important, since it allows you to have a high crit baseline, and the loss from losing the swiftness actually won't feel that bad, considering you now get attack speed and move speed regardless of the stance you're in. We should also note that with Kyengel coming to the Western Lost Ark in June, we will have access to level 3 gear sets. That means you get level 3 Yearning and level 3 Entropy. Level 3 Yearning gives you 12% MS, which paired with the 20 from your stance swap buff puts you at 32% movement speed. And Entropy will give you 22% crit rate plus 60% crit damage on back and head attacks. This makes Keen Blunt even less efficient to run with this build. However, it means that your base crit level will be sitting at approximately 53% without the self buff and 73% with the self buff. Now, there has been some conversation surrounding playing Hallucination or Salvation if you don't want to play back attack glaive. I personally do not recommend doing that. It is simply a weaker version of the new GLAIVIER. However, I will not stop you from doing it, as many of you do not like back attacking. If you are going this route, my recommendation will be to play Hallucination set when you don't have a crit sim, and to swap to Salvation when you do have a crit sim. That build's engravings will be Pinnacle, Grudge, Raid Captain, Cursed Doll, and Adrenaline 3, which you are replacing Ambush Master with. There's also been talk about running All Out Attack. However, All Out Attack from all of the testing is just a lower ceiling build, and I would not recommend that to anyone. The new GLAIVIER has engravings which synergize with the Pinnacle effect even more now, and so it was a massive plus for all glaive players across the room. It also means that gaining Adrenaline +1 or +2 is more efficient now, giving you more reason to build with Ancients as well as getting that coveted 9/7 stuff. Now with that out of the way, how am I going to start preparing, as well as what are my recommendations to you guys? My first one is to start your rebuild early. Most Glaivier builds, with the exception of current Entropy back attack, are running Keen Blunt. Keen Blunt on your accessories or rocks will essentially become unusable, and even though Keen Blunt is technically usable if you run Hallucination and Adrenaline 3, that stops you from being able to use Salvation or Nightmare Set even when you have a crit sin, because now you have to play around the base 60% bonus crit damage when you're in either stance. Another recommendation that I have is to change out your necklace. All of the Glaiviers run Swiftness on their necklace currently. However, with the changes, there is pretty much no reason not to run crit. You need the crit rate because you have a base 60% crit damage, as well as the 20% plus that you are getting from the stats is really useful in both stances now. If you are going to run Swiftness on your neck and you just don't feel like rebuilding it at all, then you almost always will have to play Hallucination and play with a crit sin just to meet minimum efficiency. Tripods. If you reference the document down in the description, I actually have a recommendation to play 3 for Glaivier. 3 blue skills, 4 red. The 3 blue skills being Raging Dragon Slash, Half Moon Slash, and Shackling Blue Dragon. And the red skills being Thrust of Destruction, Red Dragon's Horn, Starfall Pounce, and Four-Headed Dragon. Four-Headed Dragon was already a popularly used skill in Hell mode, and I believe that now that will be brought to regular content. If you would like the specifics for the tripods that I recommend you start saving, please again reference the doc. And gems, I wouldn't worry too much about. Red Dragon's Horn only runs 1 damage gem. You don't need the cooldown gem on it because it is already at a base 16-second CDR. Now that is all from me. I hope you guys enjoy the tips and new build. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I hope you have a great day.